All right, welcome to the program. My name is Dr. Mankota. You are watching the TPN TV and Radio Network coming to you live from the United States of America. Today, we'll get to another very exciting discussions we will get for comic. And this discussion is a continuation of waiting we discussed last week or so. And it got to do with the midterm census. We all know it don't cause so many problems. And last week we discussed about this census, the legality of the census, right? And a lot of una know say um, within the the um, the discussion panel, we get diverse opinions, and we get some of we commentators we actually did in favor of the boycott of the APC party on this census. We get other people that we support the census. Me as an individual, I think the boycott was not necessary because it puts people them in a very precarious situation. But at the same time, the census is also not necessary, right? And I give una waiting I mean opinion on that. And as somebody we na journalist, media person, I get for when I sit down here, I get for look at the two sides and a bit in the middle and try for portray or project things the way I feel say now the right thing about it. That's not me your responsibility as a host of this particular network. Now that make probably a lot of people they like this network because even though they know say me na APC member, but when it comes to national issues and when it comes to the TPN platform, I am neutral and I dey look at things in a balanced way for try for get a common goal. Now, for people that way they don't know, let me just see if I were able send some of these to different groups them. So hold on, let me start with the YouTube channel. Let me see, making sure. All right. So a lot of people then, when something like that happen, it's easy for America then take the partisan side. But as we all know, as a member of um, a reputable media group, I always look at things in a more diverse, a more pragmatic way. And that's not the reason that one day way I've been believe saying, um, you know, the census is not necessary. And the census is not necessary simply not because it is illegal. That's that's something where I know say a lot of people that then they take say, oh, the census illegal. Well, I know they come with what to make the census illegal. All right. And when you go back to the constitution, you realize say yes, there is a way, a provision for make the government do a midterm census. You can call it a midterm, you can call, but what do they mean by midterm census is that's you do another census within the 10-year framework, and then call in the middle of the 10 years, you do another census, now and then call it a midterm census. You know. So a lot of people then say, oh, the very name self and says midterm census, not the But if you go to the constitution, it tell you same, you get the right for the government get the right for do another numeration between 5 to 7 years of the actual census, between 5 to 7 years. The actual census now every 10 years, right? That's not the regular one. We by statutory, we have to do a census within or then 10. But a midterm census is when you decide for do a census between 5 years and 7 years, then call that a midterm census. So the legality of the census should not be in question. What should be in question is the prioritization of this census, this particular census. When looking at the mega resources we we get for the country, I strongly believe say that money we we dey take for go spend for country people then within this time period na kind of the effect changes much in the lives of the people, especially at this time where everybody is desperate for forget wetin dem dey eat and other things dem wey suppose for be immediate things dem. The census na something wey dey within that priority dey. So for go take such money and spend am and e no make sense. That's na me own argument, and I believe say any conscious person go know say it is a rational argument, an argument wey make sense. But when we say, oh, illegal or that and that, you begin to try for code the constitution way, it dey against people the way they talk about the illegality of the census, it causes a problem. And it just distracts us from the right thing. And I also believe saying, yes, indeed, there is a provision where them passed in 2002, where and that time they Aneskroma, Minkailu Mansare, and other folks then when that the leadership of the APC today been in the parliament at that time that them passed this law saying if anybody obstruct the census, is liable for arrest. That's a day. Okay, now that make us saying law will not instigate people them for making them not participate because if we do we people them then we just dip on unnecessary problem. If there's any way we'll be able for put more pressure in the government for make this census not go ahead, if we really, really serious about that, then we should find another avenue. But if they go arrest 300, 500, 600, how we go able to build them right now? And then they do them because we tell them for making them do them, right? So now it is obligatory upon us for make we go build them people then they. Make we go talk on behalf of them people then they. How we able to get them resources then they for all them people then they. It just cause chaos. As I said last week, there are so many things we will do, we able nab out some of this resistance from the government. We know say this government is uncompromising. A government we no want for compromise with people them. That's now one of the mistakes the way this government they do because as I always they say, a government now a combination of so many things, so many factors, so many people, so many organizations, including the opposition. The opposition is part of the governance system because you know why? The opposition now they serve as checks and balances, especially now a country like Sierra Leone, where you don't know the differences between the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. These people are colluded. You understand? Within the executive say, the judiciary they support, the legislature they support. So now would that therefore be the checks and balances? Now the opposition. So you see, inside the opposition system, they play a vital role for be part of the governance system. Now that make any serious government, any government we believes in they really want for can succeed, they always get for compromise because that's not the purpose of democracy. Okay, wetin make them create multi-party system within the democracy? I go send back the what them call. I continue for that, but let me just try for explain it. Wetin make them create a multi-party system within the democracy is because they want diverse opinion, diverse ideologies. You know, and when we bring all the opinion and ideologies and they together, sometimes some of those ideologies and opinions are contrary to each other. We understand that they are not compatible, but try as best as you can be as a government, a responsible government, for make you bring some of their ideologies or their opinion in there and put them in the table and try for digest, try for pick out the best from outside. That's gonna make you succeed as a government. But this government is not doing that. And one of the problems, one of the things where I don't really notice where they go on, where this government always they bungle up, is the fact that most of the time, it is very good for bring young people for make them surround the president. That's a very good idea. But you get for mix them with people the way get experience. Because the young people, they're not people the way they react based on their own emotions them. And if you take them people, then they were emotionally unstable, you surround them with you, you put them as your advisors, you main advisors them, then will lead you to the wrong side. You see, that's now one of the biggest problems with this government get. Yes, indeed, the government do a very good job for bringing young people them where every government supposed to do at this particular modern age, but mix them with experienced, stable people where know where na projectional and generational thinkers. You know, you mix them with that, and where they not get this egocentric kind of mentality for saying either me own way or the highway. You understand what I try to talk about, right? And this is not only exclusive to the SLPP. We, the SSF and the APC, will get this kind of mentality too, because we just believe same. Either we or no other person. Yes, the SLPP, they do the same thing. Either them or no other people. Them now you leave the people in this vacuum, you know. And at the end of the day, now the people that they suffer right now. But the breaking news where I get is that for the um well, let me just do now some breaking news where I get. All right, the breaking news where I get is multiple sources where I don't contact since yesterday to today. Again, multiple sources where I don't contact from yesterday to today. Tell me saying the government don't pull 5 million, over 5,500,000 dollars from WICOFA, from other projects we don't set aside for implement, for can substitute this census because World Bank abruptly withdraw their financial and technical support. And now the government can see they don't push them na the wall, and then therefore do by all possible means for make them continue with this census, no matter what's not the circumstances. So in desperation, they therefore go pull $5,500,000 from Wiyonkofa for make them able for can sponsor this census. I don't know. Whether it is legal or whether indeed this money where them pull some na money where be not the way them be not approved for the 2021 budget here. Now from that budget they then pull that money there. But probably as time they go on, we will likely know, or we will know next year when the Auditor General will do in own audit for this year, for 2021. We will know more about that, because one of the things where these governments get, they're very, very opaque. They're not transparent. So we will likely be in the dark for this particular breaking news where I don't give a normal just now, whether they get for come forth with and tell me exactly which side that money they come out. But the breaking news here is the government don't withdraw 5,500,000 or over 5,500,000 for sponsor this, because the World Bank abruptly withdraw. We'll talk about the World Bank too very soon. And I will give you another information at least where I get from that abrupt obstruction there. But the World Bank withdraw its sponsor, so therefore the government was left with untenable situation wherein desperately they get for go take this money for Congo and collapse. Now the reason this way, if you now see what thing they go on right now one of the reasons there why you see some a little bit of chaos in the beginning of this and up to today, we still get that chaos there. And the chaos is because certain people are not paid it. The enumerators them, the census guys, the way they go around the villages and towns for go and count people them, they're still not paid it because the World Bank in withdrawal was abrupt. So he left some kind of chaos how for go get this money for bring come and for translate them into payment system that make you see that delay, that delay they take place right now as with the talk right now. But indeed, the government is determined, no matter what's not the circumstance, for go ahead with this census. It doesn't matter whether it get for hurt them, it get for hurt the country. They are going ahead with this census. And legitimacy side, well, I don't talk about the legitimacy, the credibility. That now the next one will get for no after they don't do this counting, and what then get for bring to him now in get for determine whether it is even credible. I know see already people then don't take their sides for say it's not credible, it not get for credible. Okay, so these are some of the breaking news where I get from multiple sources where I've been investigating yesterday. Say 5,500,000 government take that money there and substitute the vacuum where the World Bank left. And now let's talk about the World Bank. Okay, I know say the international community for us. Well, let me you know what, let me people in the way let me send this thing quick. Then we talk about the World Bank quickly. Let me see if I go able to send them very quickly and see what thing they go on here. Hold on. So let me see. All right. Okay, let's see. No, okay. So what think can happen? Um, they I know say some of we they use the World Bank or the international community when it suits we. I remember exactly during the 2018 elections, a lot of we at the APC condemned the international community. We accuse them of interfering into our politics. We say it was the international community where determined the election in 2018. We will remember that, right? A lot of us remember some of them things and they for say yes, this was one of the things we being accused the international community for interfering. It could be true. It could be true, and but the problem here is we also tend for use the same international community. Okay, now I get time. Let me just send this quickly. We also tend for use the same international community as a backup or a kind of a protector when we think same. Then fit we comfort. This is very very important. It is somehow interesting, right? The same person where you criticize the sell and say this person the bad person because he do this interfere in now we own internal politics, and all of a sudden the same people that then become the saviors of we. How can you have it in both ways? Well, I am a person who believes the international community get for play a vital role now any countries in politics. But I don't believe the international community for interfere now any country's internal politics. Okay? The international community doesn't suppose for determine whether they come whether would they elect as a president. The international community doesn't suppose for determine what will they do as a country. That is the general ideology of a sovereign state, right? Well, unfortunately, if we not get the memo yet, there is no independence in Africa. Now, let me give you a simple scenario here. I know say the end of the year, and we dey pencil, in the next four months, we get for the all over the world they celebrate what we call an independence, the 27th of April or so. We are kidding ourselves. As long as you not able to take care of your house, everything now your house we suppose for work depend on somebody else, you are not independent at all. And this is exactly the problem with Africa. we are stuck with the international community. And I go tell una say the international community give a damn about me and you. Damn, I'm telling you this. The international community gets a single purpose for represent the interests of the individual countries who side them come out, like in Europe, in the United States, and all those countries where form these international bodies. For example, this World Bank. I am so suspicious of the World Bank withdrawal, abrupt withdrawal. You know why? This is the same organization where been they push this particular government for go ahead with um this census. Not till yesterday or day before yesterday or last week, the opposition begin complain about this. What last week? This don't happen long time ago. From the initial stage, the opposition they complain say this particular process is not supposed to happen. But the same World Bank give almost between 12 and $15 million to this government for go ahead for buy laptops, for do training, for everything. As recently as about 2 weeks ago, this same international was working hand in glove with this government for make sure saying this particular process go on. Now the question every rational or mentally stable somebody when a Sierra Leonean get for ask is what caused the sudden change? It wasn't because we pressurized them. No, they give a damn about us. It wasn't because the APC put pressure on them. No, it was not. It was never the case. Now, me investigation picks few things them, and now few things like I say. But after the withdrawal, the sudden withdrawal, I call some folks now the APC, the leadership. I get some of them their own opinion and their own information. I able to get them. I call some ministers them when I SLPP ministers them. I get their own information, and I call the World Bank now New York here. Okay. I realized one very, very flaws with this entire thing. The midterm census is just a leverage. This decision for the World Bank for withdraw their own support and technical assistance to Sierra Leone on this midterm census is a smokescreen. It's kind of a leverage because there no say yes indeed this government actually they in pressure from the opposition, and the World Bank take advantage of that for try for pressurize this same government for something else. We not get nothing for do with the opposition in complaint or in pressure. I want for Launa pay attention very uh, you know very seriously because we have always been used by this same international community. When it suits them, then can now we aid. When it not suit them, then give a damn about us. And we, with the ignorance and stupidity, we always follow. Now, waiting cause some of this withdrawal, it has to do with expatriates. A lot of now we they watch me right now. I know waiting are expatriates, right? All right. When the World Bank, the IMF, and all these other financial institutions then lend you money, then get this stupid idea, this manipulative idea, where then will tell you, say, oh yeah, in fact, we give you this money. But one of the conditions is we get some experts them where they go for go help you for implement this project where they type for them consume. And in fact, now from this money you get for pay them people, yeah. And in fact, You know, they pay them on the payment rate where salon get, where they pay them their own country, the international rate, their own country. For example, here in the United States, you understand? If an expatriate is pays $100,000 a year, now that money, they probably then they add another half of another on top of that, 1.5. That is probably going to end up for pay that expatriate day $150,000 because he's a foreigner. Okay, and from this money, where they loan you with this high interest, now they pull back, they pay them people and they for make them go help you for implement this project. Now, if you say no do one, you have a problem because you know what? Now the money, and they don't say you desperate for get the money, so now kind of them force you for do something where you're not willing for do. Okay, this is exactly what is going on. This sudden withdrawal, then just use the pressure where we at the opposition they use, they put on the government as a leverage, and this particular government refuse for take that bait, that what they call them. That is why they suddenly withdraw their money and then technical assistance. This is one of the information where I get. You understand? So imagine if this government actually been agree with this. They agree with this. Like the World Bank for be not send that money, the 5 million we left, or 5-6 million we left, we supposed for go na this payments, the payments of the enumerators, because at that money they left them and then don't do the training. You know, then don't train the people them. The one the way they at the technical side, then don't get all the basic training where they need for for go ahead with this thing. So waiting be left no more now this half money, balance money for pay the actual people the way they go village to village, town to town, and do them here. So the whole and they withdraw because the government refuse for certain conditions. Now the reason this, where the government now get for go take we money. You remember, initially where people they argue about this census, the government their own excuse was, oh, if after us not to this money not to actually they come out from the COFA, not to so. That's all they talk. They say the money not to come out from the COFA. This now something where the World Bank sponsor or something, all those that type of thing. So you not get nothing to do with projects, the national projects that what they do. And now then go take the money from the national projects them for come implement this nonsense made time more than they make so. So this is the situation, ladies and gentlemen. I take me time for explain this because I want to let people they understand the the sophistication of this entire geopolitics where they go on between the World Bank and Sierra Leone, or maybe even other countries them, and make I able highlight some of we when as Sierra Leone and for CC not celebrate waiting the World Bank do. Not because we give pressure to the government and make the World Bank they do so. The World Bank are their own interest them in the first form. Are their own interest. So let me bring in the commentators and let's talk about this. And if you get any comment, please like always put your comment at the comment section of the platform where you watch. And you wanna comment is very, very vital because this now a national issue. And I'll get to talk more about the implication we as Sierra Leonean they try for do in this era. This not for break or make with democracy. This not for handicap with democracy. I'm not talking about the midterm census alone. I'm talking about the psychological impact where most of we they put into we politics today. The toxicity where we don't insert into we politics. If we not try for step back and say waiting what they do, let we look waiting at the implication 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 15 years from now, or 100 years from now. We have to step back and take a look whether what we do. Now let me bring all right, hold on, let me just put you now into. Okay. All right. Now, Mr. Cyber Injai, hearing what I don't explain, what are you take on this? Let me.
Thank you, Dr. Mankota. I want to say good day to all the listeners, and with due respect to my colleague, commentator, Dr. Kamara. Talking about what did they go on at the country, I don't know. I listen well to what Dr. Mankota say, but me go strongly one reference the letter where the World Bank write, the reasons they where them put as to they know why they withdraw or they suspend them funding and then withdraw technical support. Well, according to me understanding, I for kindly say English not to me native language, but what me understand is with man say agreement is for future quarrels. We set the rules of the game, then we go into the game. If you say they change the rules of the game at mid game, that's the problem. The IMF makes some engagement with the government in a salon. They set the things they how it for be. Say we need a pilot census result. When that for exercise, when they say pilots, now something like pre-election, then go into the fields, people and go bring the raw data, then come, people and study and they evaluate them, then see, look at their strength, then look at the weaknesses, and then see how they go move forward. As I speak, this government no make available the pilot result. 10 I no come out. Then talk about the training of the personnel, who them for train at national, regional, district level, and field officers. Them. All what you then do, if I'm not mistake, now 2 levels of training now in them conduct. Then World Bank, they want put their money per some side, or they bring something will make sense. If they see say the procedure, una don't begin wronger, una just group the enumerators, the supervisors, the field officer, the district officer, una just can't put them into one green room. Una say una don't train them, then later on una make her. Then feel say that procedure is wrong. And this government, we all know how notorious it is and lacking in procedure and principles. How? This very census here, from it day one, then fail we even as a nation. They started doing things about the census without laying the instrument of the census, now parliament, for telling we the people. But the thing, until the opposition begin lay make, now they then decide for go maker. How they do am? They do at a time when parliament they in recess. Who side then go lay am? Now Bintimani Hotel or some sort of hotel. And what do we know about the procedure? Why we MP then they say the thing no get authority? Any side where parliament they meet, then get to them call the symbol of authority, the maze. Then for lay and day, then the speaker begin to talk, and anything will commodity, he binding as the Sierra Leone parliament. Who side then go lay and that place day? That makes they not be day. If you see the Kuskas, we see the pictures they what them do. And remember, Parliament Day in recess. Why the Constitution say if I put the Parliament, the President gets power for call Parliament, even though he day is recess. Yes, he get the power, but they miss back the procedure. They say in that event where the Speaker don't get that information, if I call the leader of business and the leader of the opposition, then discuss, then go now the thing. What you will see by this government here, according to we MP, now through the social media, they everybody thing. So now they themselves then go there, they rush go there. This government believe in secrecy, they not believe in transparency, as you have been done highlight. And this is a matter of constitution. If you miss voting the principle, any single tenet of the principle of the constitution we talk, the constitution are principle. Now law, it cannot give concession to principle. When you give concession to principle according to Kwame Nkrumah, it's like a total abandonment of the principle. Just don't make reference to it any longer. So these guys cannot treat us as small boys. The constitution say, and I show if or pass, if or pass, if or pass. They woefully and alarmingly miss to do so. So in order for make me don't do research when a scientific method for get something for arrive at a conclusion. If the procedure or the methodology faulty, believe me, the outcome, according to Dr. Kerry, the Englishman who teach me some methodology, believe me, it's faulty. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they learn credence to that.
Yeah.
So for some me, they jubilate because the IMF then stop the thing because some of them think they na grant or loan or so far. They don't save me from inheriting more loan. So I have to be happy because, and on the part of the APC, the mere fact that me leadership, then they think like the international bodies, like the World Bank, UNFA, the United Nations Fund for Population Activities, ECOWAS. As long as then they think they are like-minded with my party, I say kudos and I salute them.
Okay.
So the mere fact say, remember one fundamental point before I rest my case: we live in a global world, meaning we have to be in compliance with international standards. If the government want push me to a situation where we go fall of international standards, and we get to partners, they will for tell them say for hey, mass you break, not to so. The IMF then try, they like this government to, according to what they observe. They not come out with the statement. They don't get all what it gets for take this government to ransom. But they want to see if this government na responsible government. Then delay their actions. How? When the opposition come out for can say we are not going to take part, then me expect the president for call the state house for negotiate. Instead, what they hear now police begin call the opposition for go detain there. Now they lost confidence in this government. They are good for nothing. They are not in for good. I'm telling you, the international community then try to be lenient with them people there. But then people there, they don't know say now democracy then they rule. And democracy simply means rule by consent. Rule by consent. The president in na the executive wing. What do you mean? Na him for execute. Would I get the authority? We the people, who shall we the people now get na parliament. Now him make anything what the president want execute. If we can't get to consent, we the people and through parliament say yes, carry on. The youth secretary, use the ministers, they made this thing go on. If you say now you they can, the addition of the census, if we come out from the people, what will rubber stamp on the parliament? For if we the people will go for total the debt, what the IMF and they give we, say through the opposition will get there, say, pa, this time we'll go back to the drawing board. If we get some misgiven, say we they doubt how this thing they go, see how they make them. The committees that were set up, put members of the bring NGC, bring APC, put them together, may it bring building confidence, more move forward as a nation. But if the president thinks it a rule like say the state Sierra Leone and personal property is a big mistake. It a rule a country under democracy and it is a republic, a one term. After that time, he need to come back to we the people for more to check whether what he do or what he do right or not do right. I go want rest take my case for now.
All right. First of all, I don't know whether you mean the World Bank or IMF. So I believe say you mean World Bank, not IMF, right?
Yes. Now the World Bank, I mean.
Okay. All right. Dr. Kamara, look, listening to the monologue where I make and the follow up way your colleague do, what's in your take?
Yeah. Good afternoon, good evening, um, Dr. Mankota and fellow commentators and viewers, listeners as well. I catch you in the middle of your monologue, and I want to agree with you and also with my colleague there. Agree. Did you hear me?
Yes. I me there you.
Okay. I agree in the sense that we are at the crossroads of either we make ourselves or we break ourselves. Be it government or opposition. I don't want to comment on the census itself. Of course, I know say the census is very vital for we development, for planning and whatever it is, population distribution and so forth and so forth. But here is a pattern where we don't see where they go on, and it is not good for ourselves. Forget about the word democracy, but we self as Sierra Leoneans. Them. I remember the people of Bani Israel, that's the Jews. This passage in the Quran, where God want to test them, they call them the people of Sept, Yom Sept, the people of Saturday. That is, na Saturday, na be the vacation. And their own occupation then at the time, they were fishermen. Now they didn't get their livelihood. So he wants to see really if they go follow the word. And that is like a constitution. They may they fish during the other days, they're not going to get a catch. So what will happen? A try for contest therefore say, make they not go fish Yom Sept that Saturday day. But that Saturday day, they don't can say, now they fish boku come out. In fact, then they jump in the can of land self. So what did they do? They feel say then they can't trick God. Then go, they not go for go fish Saturday, but then go put the net them before Saturday. And exactly this is what is happening in our society. Among them, you get people them way not to them all bad among the Jews them. You get some of them where they say, hey, this year Ibado, Moku no deny the word of God. What will they do so? It's like when I challenge the word of God. Now I make them bring the higher where God it cost them. The one the way they want for trick God. Some of them turn them to monkey. The other one there it turned them to pig. You see, this is where we have the situation in Sierra Leone today. I mean, it's like what you call if you're not able for do, if you do bad, you either correct her with your hand or with your mouth or with your heart. But this is never the case in Sierra Leone today. We are all going by hypocrisy. And here is something, once something may happen out of this area, now New York, and it went viral. One black bobo, because he just began learn the religion, he can meet school bus. This school bus, where he can pack people and they go, they begin and calm down. Now they begin fight. Just like today, we are very good at, enjoying the pleasure of set fire, or we cell phone there where something happen, we don't, take and go, instead of we try for bring the solutions. He meets them boboya, they want fight. Now I go hold them, he pats them. So the white man then begin to look. They say, how this Rasta bobo way people like, I mean, at a certain time, we sabi who serve in this country. So now it tell them, it begin to tell them, say, we are all na brothers, we are all na students, we are all na classmates, we are try for be, something like that. them thing in it. The story begin go out. It say now it begin teach them. It say the Quran. It bring that kind of religious something in it. Now the country will don't become. Some of we were religious. Some of we will meet the fact with the part genuinely. Some of we will they try for talk like how they talk so. Some of we will not able with the die now with heart but with the reason. This is what is happening in Sierra Leone today. We can neither do or talk or make anything. We know the truth of the country. The parliament, they bulldoze. Anything, if you want to talk, you the common man, of course, you're not the least. We parliamentarian them, not to everybody able to talk the truth and make everything. So we get for come out and, try for be. When they say, this is not politics. Just like how you say, this is not politics. I'm afraid of our future because if we get learned people them, like Abbas Bundu now this podium, we talk for them. I remember quite well when they be all in passports, where he be sick, where they say not for go. If you remember, Mankota will say no, it is wrong. Make them giam. These are the kind of things. And not APC alone, NGC, Dr. Bright, Dennis Bright, the other leaders them, Konomani, even the commoners them, they don't come, then they go old people them. Now they first stop this type of thing because they know they born good water, the country not go stable, and they picking them what we don't born now. This is a very bad precedent. More follow the truth, and more will left for the intimidate. Let us do our job when we are put in certain positions. Let us don't go create other avenues them for can bring Bongo Sorona the country. This is all I want to comment.
Yeah, thank you very much, Doctor. And it's very, very scary for people like we, where they see farm, and they look at the way the country they drifts backward very steadily. And I don't talk about this program many, many times. I think what actually they happen at Salon is like when you get $100 bill, you get that picking them now one room where you don't know nothing about money. You go buy candy, you just throw that candy in a ground. They see the reactions of the picking them. Everybody they try for grab what you want for grab. That chaotic way. Now in they happen now we country today. So but if we will not be careful, this country is evenly divided between the APC and the SLPP. The other political parties are just kind of a flank party them. But this country is evenly divided. If the APC, the SLPP, then they believe, say, they're able to rule without consulting or compromising with the APC, now a big mistake. The country will go into chaos. The same thing, if the APC believes, say, the SLPP not for rule at all, will not for give them the chance for make them rule the 5 years what we give them, with the obstructs them, then what can for happen when the APC can have power, the 50% or 49% where they at the south and east, where na SLPP them, then go turn back and do the same thing. Then when we come back, when them come back in the power, we self go turn back, do the same thing. So you see the cycle, right? Now this will go deeper, better not the way the country get for achieve at all from them to political party. Yeah. It's very, very scary, but it's realistic.
Yeah. But Mankota, can I come in? Pauchi just say so.
Yeah.
And my colleague Yanda, and also I know they try for balance most of the time, but let us look at the inception of this government. The inception of this government, they come with violence. Now they're in your own quarters inside Kelema. Not all revenge. Oh, this not all revenge. They beat even policeman them. Then commodity come to parliament. Then bulldoze.
Doctor, that's
Yeah, okay. I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm just saying the cycle of where they say this 50-50. I mean, if we, yeah.
Doctor, let me face the fact here, and I'm here as a neutral person, even though being an APC, but on this platform, now me the host. And a lot of people that way they watch we so some of them are APC, some of them are SLPP, some of them are NGC, some of them are all the political parties the way them belong to. So if I
Me
want
not see for see.
C for C, yeah, C for C. And if I want to become a credible host, I have to look at things in a very pragmatic way.
I agree with you on that side. Very much.
In my monologue, the first blame way I give na the SLPP, because they say to whom much is given, much is expected. The SLPP believes in they're able to rule without the APC, and that is a mistake. Now that make the first thing they do when they can na power. What do they do? Then begin go after the APC folks them. Then go now media. Then go talk a lot negative things about the APC. How the APC don't bankrupt the country, how the APC don't do this, begin go after the APC, and they form a commission of inquiry. All those type of things, now a recipe for this chaos. So they see so. That's not something where we all agree on. But at the same time, we also therefore do we own part as a responsible party. It is very important. Remember, during the time of the APC party, the SLPP, they criticize we. They the level in which we they obstruct the SLPP, it just too, it don't they go to, hey, what would they assume? I like, we know they talk, but with conscience they tell we say, yes, we tell they talk so much at home. The obstruction is so much that it is going to affect this country. If you say that person in a Christman, so they don't need for give and power. You want to Christman, not behave like Christman. You get for tell the people then say, I am better than that person there. And this is what I'm trying to say. But say the APC is better than the SLPP in so many ways, and let's behave that way there. You're not gonna tell me, say, when dog bets you, get for a bet dog. Then how then they call you? You not dog. There's no way. No, I just want them call me not a dog. No, you not dog because so now this idiomatic expression way I want for them call. But here is the thing: we as the people, we also get responsibility. Yes, we all get partisan motives. We all belong to a political party, but let we not forget, say, the country is bigger than any political party where they think of the salon. Any political party, whether you call them the SLPP or the APC, they are below the country in interest. If we not put the country in interest above them political party, then go drown we down.
You're right, 100%. I agree with you. You're right. And even some members of the SLPP, I must be bold to say, they are coming out, and some of them as well, then they criticize their own, members them the way they behave in the country. So you're right. Both sides will get to be cautious and will get to be real too, because at the end of the day, now we see not back, we are all Australians. Let us don't forget that.
Look at what happened. Cyber, I know say one cam. I bring you cam. Look at what happened during the Civil War. You understand? Before the Civil War, some of we will be young, very very young. You understand? During the 80s, where we just they grow up. You understand? What happened? With the area big one and say, if they not shed blood in this country, things already go before. Then these things are not the what they call. We now all the read their statement and the way people them in the talk. And we not been there inside any political influence with people them, when things they go wrong, what do you say? I let them try them. Now then so me, papa, me, mama, not a politician, so let them try it. But what will happen? When the war come, would that actually suffer? Now you will be feel same, you not a part of this particular country. You not be part of the political system. Now we suffer. Some of we work up from Guinea. Imagine, me what they tell you so. You know what to make a very much liberal in me. Now the experience where I get from that one. We work out, me and my company, we work out from Guinea. Now Bush, in fact, the Guinean authority, you know for pass now the checkpoint, because number one, you get money, then you take out that money there from you. The same thing with Senegalese them. So now Bush will work up, take many days from Guinea to Gambia. Just imagine, by foot. Yeah, by foot. So I see what I go through, and I see we not get any way we're able to learn from them mistakes. Then what it make we human being now, because we're able to learn from we mistakes them, so it make we better people. Yeah. But if we're able to learn from we mistakes them, we all don't forget that 11 years. Now we decide for full blow. Everybody they say no. Let we go fence. Let we go do this. Let we go do that. At the end of the day, we they go back. Now we picking them and get for suffer. Bible come after Bible. I go read the comment section. Bible come.
Well, I'll be one interject where they talk about the APC and the SLPP, but thank God they able to make some clarification. When they hand over a government to you, that is a very, very big responsibility.
Yep.
Over 700 million people. We in
Seven.
the APC.
Don't say 7 million, bruh. We not reach 700 million yet.
We 7 million. We in the APC, they hand over this country now we hand from a peaceful government, all along,
yeah,
with delicacy, say we can hand over. That is a big, big responsibility for over 10 years. Now this government come for less than 5 years. Look how things don't deteriorate. But me, Bob, I not worry a bit, because even the leading democracy, say we say we so in America, we don't get over hundreds of years in experience. At some point, the human nature, knowing the human nature, be it as it is, then they face some challenges. Like what President Trump, the reign of in 4-year term, high term. The only difference we then get some institutions there where perhaps
that's very important.
we know so get that in the dates.
Exactly.
But believe me, that fight over how mortal man a day, that somebody say mankind, the human being, is the most savage creature ever created by God. That mortal man, where you see them make them gun there, them bazooka there, them bad gas there. Not for go to, now for the nature of the human being. And that the human being, he get a tendency to be dictatorial, like we say in Auti Udon happen na. So even we will get democracy don't over. So what did happen as alone? To me, it not come as a surprise you. The I make for challenge them and for confront them, I welcome it. Many people then finally prevail, because I strongly believe, say, the will of the people now get for prevail in the end.
Okay.
And I strongly believe, say, the good now get for prevail over the bad in the end. It will be nasty. It will be brutish. It can be fatal. People their lives they can go. As somebody say, that the tree of democracy must be constantly watered by the blood of patriots. That it get for be. People then get for die. Lives then get for go. It might even be by Bure dying in the process. That is why, like how Dr. Kamara they say, he say people are not they talk the truth. Yes. Now that back they tell you about the selfish nature of mankind. Then they afraid for their jobs, then they afraid for their families, that when he talk the truth, he's going to lose his job, and he don't know say if the country boil down into chaos, that's what he try say it preserve. Everybody get for be a loser.
Exactly. So by the way, you bring up a very good point, and you make a very good suggestion where you compare the United States and Sierra Leone, and your clarification is on point, because number one, America, waiting at the percentage of literacy in America, it's over 90. Then it's over 90. So no matter what's in the chaos now, you just they look at the behavior of the very politicians that I am. You understand? When it comes to the national security of the country, when it comes to the interest of the country, everybody puts in political what they call aside and come in the defense of the country. So that's the difference. We not mature that way. That make it very dangerous. When somebody don't mature, not mature at all, it very easy for make it slip into a chaos where it could be very difficult for make it pull back. So now that make we get to be very careful in as much as yes, we look at what in the go on America or other parts of advanced societies. We get a long way for go for make we able to compare them to now. Let me go to the messages because a lot of comments don't come and continue for send you comments. We'll go read them. We'll go discuss them. The first one, oh, hold on, let me see. The first one is coming from Peter Dauda. Peter Dauda say the 2015 census was rigged in favor of the APC. True or false? Peter Dauda, some of them questions are the answers to them questions are then very, very subjective. You understand? If you look at the census in 2015, if you na SLPP, definitely you will feel say in favor of the APC. And the favor way in favor of the APC according to Wuna, because of the creation of these other districts where they make within the northwest, northeast, or whatever. Okay, so that's the case. But the census itself, I don't think say anybody go say it rigged. No, it not rigged. It not rigged at all. The process was transparent. The process was clear, and the result was presented. Yes, I know say the SLPP they no favor because they go create other constituencies and districts na the north, while the south and east then get other huge population and not create then district then they. I understand your point, but sometimes the answer is subjective. It depends according to how you see things. You understand? I don't know whether Dr. Kamala gets anything for say with that. Then I will go to let's do on 2 minutes. I go to cyber. Go, Dr. Kamala first on this particular.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yes, and in fact, that's where we are. For say, then they make revenge. Yeah, I know. Say them been created places them like Falaba. I mean, the Kabbalah area. They may add something in there. But just like how you say, the process here was credible. They've been going to Parliament, then pass them. The training, everybody puts hands on deck, and there is no much discrepancy like how there is. I mean, we don't know. I mean. They say, okay, so side A, who side then the class for make them make now the south east, then they make them downgrade them to 60, then it reach a certain bar. Whereas in the north, now 80. So there is already, cheating going in there from the computers. So all these discrepancies, they're not before if they think then challenge and I say the process. The process was accepted by every party, and I make, in fact, like how you say, it's subjective. I agree with you. So that will make that 2015, even if it was rigged, it was more credible because it has the consent of every party.
All right, go ahead, Cyber.
Well, I don't need for waste time, Bandande. Yes, the response is there. Can be subjective or objective, but on the overall, it will be objective. Because this now a research method, now a scientific method, where you can subject to empirical verification. You can make reference to the data, go look at the methods, you make it checkmate if they follow procedures. You get a yes. The data will come out. We are the stakeholders involved. You say yes. Was there a pilot program? You say yes. Go look all internet, the way you constitute, where you get all the criteria there. Then I believe saying the thing will be very objective for make you say yes. The 2015 census was a credible thing, and the representative of the United Nations fund for population activity. It be present pan the presentation or the launching of the census
Okay.
results.
All right. Well, Peter Dauda, if you get another question or a follow-up question, you can put down. We will discuss that again. Matthew Hassan says, "Good evening, sir." All right. Good evening. Now we go to Ajibujalo. Ajibujalo say, "You got that right, Doc. Doc Mankotam. The international donors are providing 40% of the budget, sometimes more. Go figure." All right. Talk about the midterm census. What did they talk about? All right. Quebec contest, a beautiful program. Thank you. And Yusuf Kutsi, is it a fact or your assumption on the IMF? I think I been talk for talk about when Bible have been talk he mistakenly say IMF instead of World Bank, but Bible already don't clarify that. And that make ask him back. All right, Lucretia Bank says Mada is ruling alone. Mada is not ruling alone. I don't blame him. He is surrounded by the wrong people. And now let's talk about this also because I think I touch a little bit on this particular subject. You know, the process of any leader depend on the people where he surround himself. Because it's like a cage. You there in the middle, you get levels of people that will surround you, where they see from the outside, where you not able to see, for make them come tell you exactly what thing they go on. Any leader will surround himself with people with vengeance, as we see in this case, people with immaturity, as we see in this case, and people with egocentric, as we see in this case. It is a recipe for failure, and the result is very clear. Now that make certain things say, even the SLPP folks say, some of them do not get the mind for talk, but the one that way me they talk to. Understand? Remember, me get so many influences on both sides because of this network. So I they talk to some of them people and they then go privately tell you, say, man, Kotam, this is very, very wrong. Ministers that they tell you, ministers them. This is very, very wrong, but that's a problem. Because you know why? What you do, it gets positive impact, it gets negative impact. And unfortunately, if the negative is more than the positive, they know they see the positive side. The positive side we might do for bring the young one them into in cabinet and try for train them, for nurture them. That's not a positive side. The negative side of this is you get for mix then young people, then they will not get the experience with people that will get experience and Madabio fail for do that. That make you see certain things and then they happen. You when I'm mature somebody, they see now government they do so, or now president they take this decision. Now some of them things then they I believe saying Madabio get for look, he gets still get 1.5 year. Maybe he go able to change him if you want for change. If you know, if he believes say now they arrogance they back because sometimes somebody they do mistake, he believes say they do right no matter what they tell them. He not care. So go ahead, doctor. 2 minutes.
Yeah, you see, it's a matter of wisdom here, Dr. Mankota. I remember when we been go from 1, we prefect. It was not even number 10. Maybe they're 18, 20, but he was our prefect and we all respect him. He carried command, he carried dignity. He sabi rule we all we happy because he big pass we and he sabi. You know, I mean, this is one of the things not to foresee where person don't get a DR or a master's or a PhD, you just go take them, you put them. No. Some people will not even ever be even a football captain or even a member of a team for be a playmaker or even be a class prefect. I mean, we get for watch Panentin and most times we get for be very wary and be careful of who close relatives and friends them. When you come, you get for really give the devil in due, or you put around, peg in a round hole. You not get for mix and match because of sentiment and emotions. I think say this probably just like how you say, you mean good, the positive side for bring young folks them. Not all young folks not get some young folks then they get wisdom, you know?
Yeah.
Because as we say, the age of the Methuselah has nothing to do with the wisdom of King Solomon.
Yeah.
You know, people and they, Marco just say like how they think so now. Yeah, Marco, I forget about the white hair. But sometimes they think past me. But
Yeah,
me
yeah.
white hair fits me. Not of us say I bleach them. Anyway, not natural.
I know, I know.
So
And only why say I not mean say you old. It's also until you're a doctor, it also get for those with so many factors, right?
oh man, I know it's small wrestle.
I know. I'm just talking about the general side of it.
Okay, that's true. Yes, sir. So
All right,
here is something. Here is something, and
all right.
I mean that is where I feel sorry for him. But you know what? They say a leader, now God they appoint him. I know they thought bad name for me wife, for me paddy, for me mama, for me daddy. Once that position I don't enter there, I go deal with them in their own different entities. But when it comes for actually carry the job description, I have to hold them sacrosanct. This is all I have to say.
Okay. Bible. You get
Well,
anything?
like how Doc Talker, he mentioned one word, God. The President Madabio failed for understand the difference between we been there in campaign mode and where he put in hand on the Bible, he take the oath of office for govern all Sierra Leoneans there, according to the law of the land when are the constitution. So that betrayal, we betray Papa God in book for humanity, that's a very big problem. And somebody say Socrates say until philosophers become kings or kings become philosophers, the problem of mankind remain unsolved. Leadership not to begin business. When you don't sit down now that sit there, believe me, always try to do things there the straight and the honest way, being a God-fearing person. Then I don't help you. I don't give you the job as finance minister. But no say this money and our people their money. Don't take people's money. Do them according to the law. I think the president just don't appoint this in brother. In order to get no intercourse personal talk with them. Say, hey, oh man, what you they do so? Is that fair? Is that according to the law? Now that they be for expect the president for deal with the people that was around them. Because a lot of things at stake. Person they get an air, you no get money for me they go on that operation. Electricity no day. The roads them bad. You
All
go sit down and
right.
I did siphon public fund, you go put an I public and I make.
Round
Well,
up.
me say now there the president make mistake. Even when they talk about the census, and they bring the element of census. They say one among other things why we have census, for me give a clear picture how then they allocate resources by town, by district, how then who side them for bill, who side there is need. What the census tell you say the number one boku people picking in Amakeni, so for try for go build infantry day, for go build primary school. Oh no, the census tell you say boku age people and they nabo then for build more hospital day for them kind thing they down the name for be the guy. But is this the type of government? The government where they sack people just because of the language where they talk.
All right. All right.
So I not gonna get confidence by
Yeah,
the outcome of the resource.
yeah. But let me
Because the resources are not going to be made. It's going to be
yeah,
is skewed to
You know,
yeah,
sentiment of
let me
tribalism.
you
Yeah.
yeah,
don't overdo you time.
yeah. Let me just come 1 minute, please.
30 seconds. 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. First of all, it's very easy. If you know somebody where they play football, go put them as football captain. I wish it were possible that most of we ministry or ministers of health once on a while then disguise themselves, then go practice now hospital. This hospital, yeah, and make them see actually the flow, the pool, how things, how patient and how they handle them. And many people the way they appoint, they love their job. They don't feel bigger than the job. Therefore, no say they are servants. But somebody when they make a minister, even in field, where they say now they is specialized man. They ever go there, just there behind the desk for
Yeah,
change
no.
zero into 2 zeros, 3 zeros. Make no.
Okay. All right. All right. So okay. So let me continue with the comment. Lucretia also say they are making him fall into a trap unless Madabio is stubborn. He don't listen. He is bound to fail. Yeah, well, at the same thing we don't talk about. I don't know this guy, so I know the old call Rebecca Thornton. I don't know whose language way he put this. And I know no need for display. Colombo Kuranko. Hello, everyone. Hello, Colombo. Now we go to Matthew Hassan. Doctor, the division of Sierra Leone is by BO. He even went to the TV station and he said, "It's doctor. I really appreciate you, but the Dr. EBK welcome everybody. APC starts in the south, so we all want. BO is the problem." Okay. I know say it is easy for make we cast blame to each other. That's not part of the process, right? It's part of multi-party democracy. But what we did try for talk about, let's forget about BO for 1 minute, okay? Waiting we, not the citizen, what we get for do for make we able make Sierra Leone a better place? That's not the question we will all get for answer.
That's a very good one.
If we always they cast out blame, oh, that not the problem, the other person not the problem, the other person say not to me not the problem, the other person not the problem, then we'll not try for find solution. It's gonna be the same thing. So waiting we as Sierra Leoneans, forget about your party first. Remember, are they still the reference the war? You understand? Remember, during the war, we're not going to talk about party. Because, party get for day where it is stability, the country is stable. Now the party they able to function correctly. So let's take responsibility as Sierra Leoneans. You know what? During the one party system, we not been get power, even though they say we they go vote, but the outcome of them vote then them predetermined by the leaders. We all know that, right? Because now one party state. So you don't have a choice. Either you vote for that party day or you are out. So it is predetermined. But now we are so lucky we get a multi-party system. Let we use them to the best of our ability for help the country. The other one, the number I want for make you know, Matu Hassan. Thank you very much for your comment. Musa Conte say, what is the obstruction, Mr. Bankot? When okay, I think you want to say when they can pass any bill they want in parliament, I do not see obstruction from the opposition. I hope you do not put into your consideration the noise from social media. Can you equalize Republican obstruction to the Democrats to the obstruction in Sierra Leone? If the opposition can stand with principles in their obstruction, so let it be. Okay. A very, very sophisticated, and not only somebody with an open mind and somebody with a look at things in a bifocal lens. If you look at things in a unifocal lens, one lens. If they use your bifocal lens, you they see this way, you they see this way, then you're able to merge together and get a clear picture. Not everybody get that ability there because today me na APC and everything I care about is APC. It doesn't matter. All what I care about is APC. So now unifocal lens that one day. But when I am APC and also open mind for look at the other side and get their own perspective, then probably I will be able to get a better way of seeing things than just me own lens. And this is what is going on in Africa, in Sierra Leone today. Most people then are unifocal lens than they use for look at politics today. Now that may quickly, when something happen, it take 1 day or 2 days, they begin see the divide where they go. It open more and more because we have this unifocal way of seeing things. And what I try for say is, I don't already criticize the SLPP. Everybody knows say the SLPP bear the greatest responsibility because to whom much is given, much is expected. We give the power to the SLPP for make them govern with. So we they hold them accountable for what they supposed to do what they not do. That is a clear indication, say, They have the greatest responsibility. Opposition, waiting are we on responsibility again? Yes, we get this perception, say, when they say opposition, it's all about oppose. No, that's not the actual literal meaning of opposition in political context. It's not always about opposing. It's about looking at things and try for hold the government accountable when necessary and try for help the government when necessary. You look at this country. You look at it, you know what make the Republican Democrats now then get what them call because they are already structures them. So even in our votes, look that bill where them passed recently, almost na the Senate. Not know the way actually vote for that bill day. But you know what happened? Then get structure. So even if you not vote in parliament, in people then they go enjoy that benefit day because the structure prevents the government from making them discriminate based on voting, based on politics. We don't get an salon. We don't get an salon. We don't get all them things in a salon. So we are too immature for make we able to play the politics where the Western advanced society then they play. I think Dr. Wanfo say something on that.
Yeah. Just in addition to what you say, you may not see, first of all, 90% literacy in this country. And and people they can go what they can call filibuster. They can go when they say the truth.
Yeah.
And let me just cite also an example in the African continent. In Egypt, some of us who are lucky to be there, the late Dr. Boutros Ghali, he was the longest serving foreign minister because they make the foreign ministry an institution. It no matter whose party will take Egypt, then they left him there as foreign minister. Because he was the man who built that place. He speaks about 7 languages. He is an outstanding professor in French, English, and Arabic. So if you, whether the left or the right you come, then they train you as a diplomat so that you think what in that country they want. But so we today, what are we teaching our people?
Nothing.
No faculties. We know they build faculties. Go today, go ask me and you sometimes the school will go, class 6, class 7, we used to write good English letters for people them. But today go take university student, put them for making write a letter for we people them. It's a shame.
Very, very sad.
And very sad. So we get for actually be real to ourselves and get the real education and pass them from one generation to the other. I think this is the only way we go able for mature and reach the reality and what's in Salowans. Otherwise, look, then they can't buy land. They can't sell a land. Instead of you lease, because I sell the land for 99 years.
Yeah.
What in that man wants the land for 99 years when it's not going to live for the next 30 or 40 years? But they can't deprive you and the new generation. You know they think?
It's very, very sad. Let we go to Bible. You want to say anything on this particular comment, or let me move on?
Well, una almost don't say everything, but what we want to say is.
Are they correct me, VP and quick here, in case I make do a big?
Okay. No
Okay. Is the leadership when we don't get issues of this nature? I think the leadership for don't take preeminence for address this thing. The APC now a very responsible party, not only there for oppose. The APC not take kindly where then they rate some of our institutions like the National Electoral Commission, the police, you name them, the institutions there, even the anti-corruption. The world and they rate them say they are not up to standards, for example, from what the EU talk. Now, statistics Sierra Leone, all over the year, all over the time, statistics Sierra Leone, we know there's something with laurel, something with credibility. this government want put again at the mud. Una know they see the point where the APC see. Not to what would they try for build certain institutions them, more would sound like other countries them, more be in the world of civilized people. This government they can't desecrate electoral commission for change 99 to 149 and
Okay.
nothing comes out of it.
Okay.
Look
Uh,
the OTT that they make. So we are very much concerned. The way certain institutions like Statistics Sierra Leone, when a professional institution, won't be say anything where you say we come out, it will stand the test of time and in terms of international standards. Now this
okay.
government want carry cap. So
I,
now concern this. This is
I,
our concern.
Bible, I understand, but let me play the devil's advocate here. First of all, a lot of people, the when I SL people, when they watch him, when they talk, say, oh, the APC is very much concerned about the rate, where they rate the police and the judiciary and all those type of things. This is not unique to APC. We have to face the facts. This is something that has been going on since independence. When the APC came to power, we level best, but still, it was rated one of the worst. Because you know why? Everybody is politically motivated, whether you talk about the police, because the IG is appointed by this government, and so therefore, in belief, say that the government they serve instead of the people. It happens during the APC too. We have to face the fact. So this rating, what we talk about, is not unique to a particular. I think we need to do a better job. But we don't talk about the police department issue on this platform so many times. We need to find a way how we go make sure say the police therefore be independent of influence from any government officials. We say how they call them? Then get this lands way in the APC waiting orders from above. That's what during the SLPB it start to. Not from the APC. Let's face the facts. Not from we on party. Now they start, and still then it continue. So yes, indeed, we know say this government they do things the way it's very very reprehensible to say the least, and then for no better because you as a leader you learn from the mistakes of your predecessor, so that you're not going able to can't repeat the mistakes then they. But if you're not able to learn, you can't repeat the same mistake and do even worse. You're not supposed to be a leader. And the people of Sierra Leone need to sit down and think about this for say this government the way that they do they're not able for lead. So 2023 let's pull them out.
Well,
But
Doc, if you allow me,
that
just
is
a second, just a second.
30 seconds. Go ahead.
I want where the APC rule, a report like the one will come out recently from the EU not come out. Number two, look what is happening now. We the APC don't produce leadership where they go and crown presidents. We are kingmakers all over Africa. We are conducting election. That status, what will leadership get? Not a mean achievement. I want me note this point. For many international community, you will put you in you may not like EBK. You may not like allow me to learn. You may not like EBK. But that status where you don't earn now the international community, the APC not a mean achievement. I want me imagine how Madabio get for the after presidents. Not get for leader in any international standards.
Mr. Baibule, I want to ask you a question, and you have to be fair here. When you compare Madabio and Tijankaba, I know say I want put politics aside. You compare Madabio and Tijankaba. Would you feel say what's Madabio? Sorry, Aneskroma and Tijankaba. Sorry for Madabio. When you compare Aneskroma and Tijankaba, you want to say they respect EBK in administration more than Tijankaba, just because the international community put him as an election observer. No, I don't think so, because you know why? You know what? If you look at Tijankaba administration, even we in our opposition, we acknowledge say now one of the best leaders we would not ever produce at that country. But they're not ever calling for go take any kind of positions or election observing down there. So they determine within the international community do in a specific period and try for denigrate the other side. I don't think saying that the best way where you go able for judge. You understand? But in any case, I just want to make you know saying yes, the international community then hold we into ransom. So then go do whatever they like for do. Now let we go ahead with the comment. Lucretia Ban said the ministers are arrogant. I listening to them. I don't know none of them in the party. Too much threatening. All right. Now we go to Peter Dauda. The necessity for this midterm census is to correct the anomalies of the 2015 census. True or false? We don't talk about this already. It's still subjective. So now the same answer would they give you, Mr. Peter Dauda. You they look at as anomalies. The APC they take and say not to anomalies. So you see now it left with Usa Ude. So let we move on that. The problem with this census, like I say, the president get the right for call for a midterm census. Anybody will tell you say that illegal, now disingenuous person. It did not the constitution. Whether you call that midterm or call that midway or halfway, it doesn't matter. But it is there between 5 and 7 years. I read that Naya, I think last week or so. So it did it. My problem what I get with this census is prioritization. When you get meager resources, the country they suffer. Look at the teachers them. They know they pay them on time. That money they, if we able to take that money they, if not alone we pay the teachers them, we try for improve we institutions them. Then the next time when another census come, we go count. If we get any anomalies, we will get for correct. We they correct then they. But what's not the rush for call a midterm census at this time when everything is just so hard for the people? That's the problem where I get, okay, Mr. Peter Dauda. So the true or false for correct anomalies, not timely at all. I don't know, Doctor, you want to say this again? Loud now, one minute because we want to go out of time. One minute. Your voice not clear.
Okay. You hear me?
Yeah, but it's still like you did a little bit far.
Bring me back to the center stage where you've been bringing me because I've been going for the VPN. Now you shift me.
No, I just pull you from the live screen, okay. But I'm not being able to call you. Okay, yeah. Okay, say something. Let me hear.
Okay. I don't know. The fellow
it better small, even though you're not trying to
the machine where you take for correction game. If you're wrong, then the outcome is wrong. I remember Dr. Patel, when we began at Frabi College, we did an exam. Now one of the students he said, hey, doctor, he said, please, tell me.
You just get 1 minute to.
I forgot it, and I'll get the answer. Now Dr. Patel say, oh, show me the answer, and I'll show you the formula.
All right,
because the process. Yeah, you're right. Oh my goodness.
Now you clear.
Hello. Oh yeah.
Okay, you froze now.
Yeah, you see me? Okay.
It clear now.
Okay. Yeah, you see, Dr. Makota. Yeah, the president, he right for going to be term census, but the process will go. In order for push us down the throat of people, we get a parliament.
Yeah.
And this is the pattern where you see all this they happen because right from the outset, let me kind of talk to you. This is not a blame game. If the process is wrong right from the outset, then the outcome is going to be wrong. You know, this is another thing. Who they try for talk? I mean, you get a parliament, and the parliament is there for the people. And they say Vox Populi, Vox Dei. The voice of the people is the voice of God. And we can speak through our representation, executives the way they are the places. But when we take them, when I make them personal, I mean, this is out of the way. So this is where we are getting all these problems. You see how they wrangle in America now. Then they go, look, Trump.
Okay.
And the former president. If you are any other country, not treason. They don't forget about her.
All right. You 1 minute don't pass. Let we go to
No. I'm just saying. So the process in that country, many things that don't go. They have to stop because they say when sometimes you do certain things, then it will come to a time when shoe will come up, which the people will say, well, enough is enough,
all right.
and this is what is happening.
I think say I don't want to bring Bible again because I the same thing again for Kantok anyway. Bible, let we go to the next one. Hello, Mr. Nicholas Kaloko say hello, Mr. Mankota, watching you from Coventry City in United Kingdom, Great Britain. Thank you very much, Mr. Kaloko. So do you have now for subscribe whether on Facebook or YouTube? Every Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern time, we did live. All right. Manuel Kamara say corruption will always take us behind, my brother. Not true. I totally agree with you. And he also say we don't respect the law. We have voted. That is in our DNA. Oh, we don't respect the law. We have voted. That is in our DNA. Bible, you want to say something? Now you get 1 minute.
Yeah, like now somebody will say corruption is always our problem.
Yeah, not the same person.
The president is practicing corruption by failing to go against the law. Corruption not for chief government money, misuse of government office. They say the constitution say lay this in parliament. Failure to do that, he tried to circumvent, go people in a secrecy in a hotel for go lay the instruments during recess. He's practicing corruption.
Yeah.
Yes,
I agree
we
with
have to be fair with that. So that thing that they will call them, we have to. What you be asking, what you will get for do as citizens in a situation like this. Now they do so. We continue to sensitize, we share. When they say multi-party, it means multiple views. I may not like what Mankota is saying, but I will defend to my death his right to say it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
That is fundamentally what democracy is all about. You have the right to say it. We have a right to protest. Mr. President should understand that. If he has a right to call a census, we have a right to our views to what he has called. You cannot suppress system the most way.
And so many comments we don't have so many. Sometimes probably are not going able to call all, but we dey try with level best for make sure say we talk about the one we able to talk about. Then we go to Nicholas Kaloko say is to change the 1991 constitution and to reduce the power of the president to leave some of instructions independently, such as police, the army, the justice department, all these instructions be free and answerable to the president. Then Sierra Leone will be a better country. Well, Nicholas, one of the things I agree with you is there was some committee where during the time of the APC, we then call Constitutional Review Committee. And waiting at the functions of the Constitutional Review Committee for look into the 1991 Constitution and make some modifications because we all know, say, the 1991 Constitution was created as a foundation, as a base for multi-party democracy. But inside this 1991 Constitution, there are so many things that we not compatible with the modern society. So that was the reason why they formed that committee there, and been get the opportunity for interview in this program many times. The person will be been the head of that committee, the way they call Justice Co, and I think he don't die already, and so many good things there in that Constitutional Review Committee there. Now, here is the hypocrisy where I see back in our politics. Now, when Justice Co presented this constitution at the APC party, so the APC party not able for try for Keranguna Parliament and do everything. You know what happened? The SLPP been they criticize the APC for that, and one of the reasons why an Escoma not being agree, they say because the third term where an Escoma be one for make them put into this constitution in order they not make it just put her on that table. Well, where then come, then go look into that. Madam, you are interviewing at this program. Rather be you in a witness. I did now the whole now as witness. He talk about that. Say, when he come, he did look into that and try for implementer. 4 years later, then they even talk about that constitutional review committee paper. Oh, they never talk about that because they focus on doing something. So these are the hypocrisies where would they see in our politics. Anyway, now we go to Malnor Kamara. We are not owners of our land. Foreigners are taking all. Well, down there, that's something we very, very pathetic and unfortunate because if you're not able to control your own land again, what you able to control you? You one time say, like where the America is, so I get me house. But to be honest with you, the house not to me get a move. Even though almost I don't know for pay for them, but not to me get this house. I they pay for this house till I die. Because you know what? The land where they are, that's somebody in land. So if you're not able to take care of your own land, you take the quoting doctor say you take your land, you sell land for 99 years. That's not useless behavior down there. And Philip Joseph Kaba Mandingo, Sparrow the Sparrow. I don't know who that is, but I believe say that somebody will know me. All right. Jaminatu Sise say, never be a fan of any political leader. This will disallow you to make a fair criticisms and evolution of their work. And this may forbid you to ask questions. Contact me if you want to join this WhatsApp group, Patriotic Force of Sierra Leone. And don't forget to follow my Facebook. I think this was it. Again for pay me. Jamina, you get for pay me, definitely. Now, advertising, they can't advertise na me program, so you not even tell me. My advocacy, the judge and wisdom of he said the campaign platform is focusing mainly on influencing political change, driven awareness around issues, and also bringing young people together to advocate. Thank you very much. And now we just know if there's something we then call some of you all will able to support you. We are all in this together, Jaminato, okay? And now we go to Musa Conte. Musa Conte says, Mr. Mankota, I am not APC, neither a registered to any party. In a democracy, we should expect obstruction from the opposition. We see obstruction as negative, Mr. Mankota, because the leadership we have always failed to use the power of persuasion. Once our president comes to power, they become the be-all and the end-all. We are not in the medieval era where power is absolute. The president in power has to see the opposition as partners in government and must at all times use his leverage to persuade. I've been saying about this, Musa. That's exactly now I've been talking about my monologue. I don't know if you've been there during the time of my monologue. Any government in this modern democracy where they see the opposition as enemies is bound to fail. Whether not the SLPP didn't have power today or the APC didn't have power tomorrow, are the same thing. It's bound to fail. You know the differences between the APC and the SLPP? A lot of people that they provoke the APC, then say we get brown envelope, even to the extent of bribing the opposition. Well, if that's not they make the opposition, deal with we in a way where we're able to make we succeed, that's fine. But this government, not give a damn about the opposition. It don't give a dot. So that's that make you see all these problems here where they happen today in this country. And Yusufu Sharif, this is the most ruthless government administration in Sierra Leone. I don't know if that is the case, but maybe you talk about democracy because the AFRC was also ruthless anyway. Yes, EBK is more respected in the world than Tijan Kabab. The reason is the killing he did, killing a woman by Tijan Kabab. Okay, that's another debate. Another one for let we touch anyway on that side. All right. Lucretia Ban says, why people don't believe the census is for allocation of funds? They have been promising them and they are not seeing anything. Okay. What do they talk about the census? The reason generally speaking, that's not the purpose of any census in any country. That's not the general speaking. The implementation may be different, but generally speaking, every census is to make sure each constituency, each locality, each district, they know how many people would they live in that district. Then. So if the time count for allocate resources, it could what we call equity resource distribution. So that are the purpose. But sometimes now census is becoming a political issue. It was not a political issue, but unfortunately now it's a political issue. Now, Yusuf Sharif say you don't have a hidden agenda over this census, as you said. You and as you said, you and to correct some loops, why don't you wait after 10 years? Okay. I don't really I don't know who's supposed to respond to whether now we were the talking now or they respond to Madabio or the government. But in any case, like we say, every 10 years now they do census. That's a clear, a very, very clear now the constitution, right? Normal census every 10 years. But in the case that the government want for call for census in the midway of the 10 years, you get the legal right for do so. But is it sometimes possible, even though you get the legal rights for do something, do you have to do it? You get to look at other factors. If I do this, waiting at the outcome, how it will impact other projects the way I don't put, especially when I get on limited resources. So these are some of the factors, even though you get the right for doing, but you don't have to do it. If you know somebody will get sense, okay? Anna, okay, you should say, if these people don't have a hidden agenda, let them wait after 10 years. Okay, I think that the government even a time for see. Now, Suleiman Ba says, Mr. Mankota, Suleiman Ba, what the? All right, oh man, I did do book. I don't tell Suleiman Ba na Kundam camp. Yeah, I remember you. I remember you, Suleiman. Who's are you there now? They are just you them call who's are you there now. So okay, we don't know the comments so far. Thank God, I don't left anybody. Now we'll get 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes. Now let me give the commentator 3 minutes each. They may take the 4 minutes. Make your case. What's the way forward, Mr. Dr. Kamara? What's the way forward in this particular debacle way we don't put two steps so? And we constitution, we democracy too young for go to them here. You know, now we're supposed to build a good and prosperous democracy. If we miss on this time, it will be very difficult from after you don't strong, mature, for make we come back for coming. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Mankota, as usual, I appeal to all Sierra Leoneans them. Make we like we say, make we be peaceful. When I load Naya for go to Salon, when I reach na Brussels, the plane, 75%, that's also wait money at this in the Salon. We the first for come on a Salon, then the first for go inside it, which means we country is sweet. And if we only know why they go there, then we make we own code of conduct. We get we own cabal. Not to cabal where they la corner 1, 2, 3 people them. Then go, they say Mr. Percentage here, Mr. 0 under 1%. No. When you go to Senegal, you not go thief the any Senegalese. You go to Guinea, you not go thief the any Guinean. But we in a salon, would they be bagging to we serve for thief country? I want more to wise up. All this fete, all the fete is not necessary. We don't need United Nations for camp pathway. They go come where we don't kill we serve. When everything does sour, then line they will come. So do ya Maku wise up and Maku like we serve. And the only way where that will be, let us love ourselves. Let us avoid corruption. More not the rogue we serve. And I think so we're going to enjoy. That's 7 million. Down in a Wall Street in India, where he puts the people them, that's 7 million that one day. Why
Yeah.
we not be able to move yourself? Let us know more. At the big, do ya a big, could be fair to yourself. Yeah?
Yeah, thank
Period.
you very much. Now, a very good advice that one day, and these are some of the advice at the end of every program who they give to we Sierra Leoneans them. For say at the end of the day, now one salon will get, you know. So Bible, go ahead.
Well, just for remind the one that we say then in now the government say gone are the days when say winners take all. That we see in America, even within a political party, where President Biden they talk say when the Senate is 50 Democrats and 50 Republican, every Democrat is a president. That the president not they just send to incumbent Democrats, then they go make. No. Then they stand their ground, president they come, he negotiate with them for me in programs they go through. That
Yeah,
is leadership
yeah.
within the same political party.
Mhm.
We are not talking about the Republican who are the opposition. No. So because even identical twins, beyond the way they should say identical twins,
Then get
Then get
differences.
variation.
there are bound to be differences in terms of weight, size, color, and all. And above all, perception.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
are human beings. Even my mother be come one that you are mommy, we just don't see the same thing. Because I say, Mr. President, he say census, me say no census. I should be killed? No, Mr. President. Explain to me, make I understand why the census for take place. Allay me fears. If I get some suspicion, try for make I neutralize them, make I believe what you stand for, so that I go work with you. You see, I want make I say the leadership now the APC, they find it very, very difficult for take this decision we then take. But since it is in the best interest of the country, they have no alternative for do this. So me expect you, Mr. President, if they listen to me or any of you person they listen to me, it's never too late to negotiate with person who feels in a political opponent. All what you will say is we are suspicious. We don't dey see people the way bring na neck, then they behave the other they bring. He don't sack all manner statistics. He pull a particular set of people there who in a particular list. If we doubt the process, why don't you make we part of the process so that we can move forward? Until you do that, we will continue to resist you. We will resist you. Now this wall, and even when we die next wall, if I see the back, I will grip you. I want tap this.
Thank you very much. And well, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I just want to thank my commentators. Before I even come to me own last word on this particular topic or waiting the gonna salon, I just want to make an announcement. And I believe say me commentators this not to surprise to una because I've been not sending a text on that. On the 25th of December, that Saturday day, that broadcast is exclusively about me commentators. The good job what they don't do for the past since 2010, 11 years, and without una, this particular network, you know, for being the way it did today. So yes, we get a lot of networks them, but when it comes to trustworthiness, the TPN actually stand out. You know why? Because of we liberal view and the contribution that they make. So on the 25th of December, we'll get an award ceremony. Let we talk a little bit about WISEF. Let we reflect within we don't do over the past decade, how we come off from that time up to this time and waiting we prepare for do go in future. So that one day I want for make I tell with viewers and say that very day, Christmas day, when a Saturday, now for make we appreciate we commentators them and to be honest with una need appreciation because every time we una come na this program that they bring things then way people then like for hearing whether disagreement like who will get disagreement within whoself way very very unnatural for other networks them that's wonderful so that one day then now let me come to me on opinion and I always they say this Sierra Leone, na one Sierra Leone. Na one Sierra Leone country we get, na one country. Some of we na dual citizens, we know that because we passport stamp, we always remind you. Just go na your passport if you know a dual citizen in America na open the first page. You dey see them. Then they put them right there. So we get for make sure say, you know what to make we left salon? To for say everybody want for left salon. Yes, the war was one of the main what them call. A lot of people then see they want not they but then they still try for run away for common us alone because we not make the country for the people that wait in other country there for make them they're able for living a comfortable life. So if we did look at politics, we take politics, we put on our head, we forget about the country, it is very, very disastrous. So do you in as much as we they play with parties and politics, let we not forget saying we join a political party, not because of the political party, now because of the country. Because a political party, the functioning of a political party now for make it gain power, so it go able to help the people within the country. That's not the objective that one day. So if that's the case, they allow we forget about some of the parties and politics. Go kill somebody, go burn house, go with and call. You know they help we actually. You know they help we. Mammy calls or this that. You know they help we. The way me believe in me own politics, if I know say me party, if they do well, I they hail them, say, yes, this is very, very good. If they do bad, I they come and say, hey, Mr. Leader or Mrs. Leader, I think we need for tweak here for make we able make them better. Okay? This now I believe say na a patriotic duty, not just support, whether consciously you know say this sometimes you know make any sense, you know they even benefit your own party because now they in power, so therefore obligated for make us support the president, whether he do wrong or he do bad. We right now we can support we own party. We're not in a power. So you know they affect much. Okay? You know they affect the country. But we're not within a power right now. Any bad thing what that government they do, what they support, it they affect the country directly because he is responsible for the country. The APC is not responsible for the country. So now we get that and now we make sure say we continue for pray for the country. I thank you very much and I thank Mr. Baiburen and Dr. Kamara. I just want to thank you very much and I also want to thank all the people that will give their own comments them. I see all the comments that will come in very, very positive. I know say as we get differences. And that's what it's supposed for them. You know, the reason what to make them make multi-party, not to say that party they get for agree with the other party. No, otherwise we don't need a multi-party system. We just need a one-party system because we all they agree together. But what to make we form a political party because we get different ideology. That no means say we are enemies them. I get a lot of friends them when na SLPP, me na APC, they all know say me na APC, me na staunch APC member. I know they hide them from anybody, but they are my friend, they are my brothers. So let me get them the attitude then they for say if I disagree with an SLPP, it don't mean saying an enemy. I meet time with the sit down with the drink, whatever we get for drink and move on. Okay. I thank you very much again. We'll go see you back next week, the same time, the same place. Bye.